Hello ladies and gentlemen and fellas in between, my name is Toons. Half-Life modding is something I've done a decent amount of time on this channel, but specifically Half-Life 2 mods. The main reason is just overall Half-Life 2 is my favorite Half-Life game of them all, but I figured it's about time that I actually cover a Half-Life 1 mod, and I decided to cover, well, what some people would claim the greatest Half-Life mod ever made, Build Intensity. And I'm going to be covering if I think that mod really does deserve the title of the greatest. Build Intensity is an insanely passionful project. I mean, it was developed for 13 years, like holy shit, how do you not just give up after the 5th one? Even if I have criticisms of the mods, once again, this is absolutely fantastic and full of passion, and I'm not taking away any of the hard work that this mod went through. The basic premise of this mod has us playing as a soldier named Stefan, but unlike Adrian, who was the former soldier we played as in a Half-Life game, we actually know what our damn task is. The mod starts out with a cutscene. I've mentioned this before if you watched any of my videos, so it's probably getting redundant to hear, but cutscenes not a good thing to have in Half-Life mods, especially when they're meant to be in the Half-Life continuity. So overall, this scene is just whatever. It's not bad, but once again, probably shouldn't be here. We get something that most Half-Life mods will never do. We are immediately given our weapons, a knife and an SMG. The knife is modified from the original knife from Opposing Force, where it has an alternate right click that has a slower wind-up and, I guess, more damage. I don't know what's up with it. I never really felt like it was that useful, but I think it's really cool either way. Another gameplay thing that they changed that I really liked was the night vision. The night vision in Opposing Force, well, isn't good. Another thing you might not know if you ever played Half-Life 1 before, Half-Life 1 doesn't have subtitles. This mod has subtitles, which is great. Pick up a radio, and if you know anything about the Half-Life community, you probably recognize this man's voice.
Stefan? Yeah, it's me, your old friend Kevin.
It's Richter Overtime.
It's not called the airboat.
Honestly, Richter did a fairly decent job for what he was tasked to. I mean, most of the time Half-Life mods, when they have a YouTuber voice acting, they sound either like shit.
As your president and commander-in-chief, it is with a heavy heart that I'm informing you.
Everybody type in the chat, Alex is a stupid nick.
I wish I could say the same for the other HECU soldiers. The voice actor they have for like the new lines they have is, well, I would say not great.
Well, you're the one with the night vision.
It is really funny watching it turn from this very dorky voice to back to the manly, manly stock soldier.
Are these things? No way.
I don't know, they probably should have re-recorded like all the lines, because it is really daunting to hear that. I also just overall don't think the voice actor they gave for the soldiers is a good pick for them at all. One of the soldiers we meet is named Francis, who is commonly just throughout the whole mod talking about how much he hates insert thing. If you know anything about Left 4 Dead, then you should recognize the character Francis from Left 4 Dead that commonly talks about how he hates insert things.
Man, I hate big doors.
I hate hospitals.
They have this objective tab, which is cool I guess. It gives us information and our protagonist's thoughts. It's whatever. I kind of forgot it existed most of the time. This mod has plenty of references, such as this one place from Half-Life Decay, and literally soon after we get to meet the two protagonists from Half-Life Decay. All that stuff is really cool, and honestly I don't ever feel like it's too forceful, like, oh, funny reference. It kind of reminds me more of how the actual expansion packs did the references more than just soy jacks. This mod for its first half has really good level design. By far some of the best I've ever seen coming out of a Half-Life 1 mod. And I also really like its environments. I like this arcade section a lot. It really does remind you that, well, people live at Black Mesa. And I think that's cool. Really well made. Also, this Flappy Bird reference really does remind you when this mod was being developed. By the way, how many of you guys have played the shitty, like, Flappy Bird ripoff at arcades? How many of you guys have? And what's your honest opinion on them? Richter Overtime tells us to make sure, no witnesses. And no, I will not be making that joke, it's too on the nose. There really is no new weapons in this game, except for one thing, these explosive snarks. They're whatever. I mean, they're snarks, but they blow up and they're green. I mean, snarks are already kind of useless. After that, we get to see the chum toads locked up, and I'm like, I swear to God, fuck you, game, for making me not be able to be around these things. There's a few cute references of cut enemies. There's also this chum toad in a microwave. Even though I did say snarks are useless, They did make a really cool set piece out of them. There's nothing too special to say besides just really good level design until we get to see, well, an HEV suit. We don't put it on, but we get this reveal that HEV suits have a tracking device, explaining why the military in Half-Life 1 were so easy at tracking down Gordon. We were the ones that provided them an HEV suit to easily track Gordon down through, which is cool. We actually get to develop quite a big squad in this mod. Honestly, this is really cool, just overall in general. The squad mechanics just work better in this mod overall. We have icons of everyone's HP, what type of soldier they are, you know, pretty cool shit. You see this part where Otis, our very lovable security guard, seems like he's about to successfully communicate to a Vortigaunt, close to talking the Vortigaunt down and them being buddies, but unfortunately, friendship never lasts in Black Mesa.
No, I'm not fat. I'm just what you call big bone. Hey, I thought we were becoming friends.
Eventually, we try opening a door and, well, we get blown up.
Hey, you. You're finally awake.
After that, we get a scene where we're getting rescued, as we get revealed that we're specifically this soldier from opposing force. We have none of our weapons, so we have to re-earn everything. We start out with a crowbar, which just... Editor's note, you actually get a med kit and a wrench first before the crowbar. My bad. Kind of feels wrong. I don't know why. Specifically seeing the soldier hands hold a crowbar just is always off-putting. Also, by the way, say goodbye to the knife. You're never gonna see it again. You lost it. But we also get back the wrench. I'm actually not a big fan of having both of these weapons, because I feel like the knife weirdly kind of had a mixture of both of them. In opposing force, the knife was obviously the crowbar stand-in where it went as really fast, and then the wrench was a lot slower but did more damage. This mod just gave us the knife at the start, but it gave us a secondary attack that was more similar to the wrench, and I thought it was kind of a mixture of the two, but just seeing these two giving us both of them felt kind of redundant, and I would have preferred maybe just keeping the knife. Honestly, this part's kind of one of the slower parts of this mod. Not that it's bad, but it kind of feels like it's lacking any identity of its own. It just feels like really good Half-Life level designs and nothing more. Another thing that's gone and ripped from you is your night vision. Say goodbye to it. You have to work with, well, Half-Life 1's fucking terrible flashlight for the rest of the game. I actually don't know why it was removed, but I have a really dumb theory. Okay, let me explain. Our character is clearly shown to be this specific soldier variant. It would make no sense for us to have night vision, but you see, we started out as a gas mask soldier, and that's why our night vision was originally there. But we lost it during when we got exploded, and that's why it's gone. That's my headcanon now, fuck off. Also, another editor's note, you lose all this stuff when you go through a portal, not the explosion. My mistake, my big mistake. I know, I'm not a credible source anymore. Also, in particular, it's the portal from Blue Shift. For a little bit, I had HD models on. There was no reason. I felt like just turning them on for a little bit. The segments where you have a whole army of soldiers are fun and all, so that's cool. Well, he's dead now. We eventually make it to Zen, and it looks fairly good. I would say better than the original Zen, and it also, of course, plays a little bit better, but it's kind of still whatever. It's kind of one of its low parts. It's not at all horrible, and trust me, it's leagues better than whatever Valve made when it came to Sin. To see this ghost, a hallucination of him, I'm pretty sure. I was thinking this meant that it was going to be some weird paranormal Zen activities, but you'll find out later on. This boss fight kind of sucked, and honestly afterwards I was just kind of thinking to myself, can this mod just end already? The mod ain't bad, it's really well made, but it kind of feels like it lacks its own personality. With the lack of new weapons and very little bit of new enemies, it just doesn't feel that different. It's a longer mod, which of course, it sounds like it would be a good thing because you have more time to consume it, but after a while it just feels like it's the same old, same old. It's all well made, but there's nothing that special to me about it. Once again, just continue with some really well made levels, but nothing that special to mention.
I find myself trapped in the dark form. Seeing things in the true form is getting harder. What about you, buddy? We should keep it tight till the end. Closer. I'm getting closer. There's a one-sided doorway between you and I. Whatever you do, don't step into it. Hey, Stefan. It's me, Kevin. Here I am on the ground, lying motionless, breathless, lifeless. I know it's hard to comprehend, but it's the truth. You'll have to accept it. I guess I just wanted to accompany you a little bit longer. Or well, you wanted to be accompanied by me. Anyways, take these keys. That truck is your only hope of getting out of here. As for me, I'm staying. I can't help you anymore. Try to get home safe. Goodbye, my friend.
I was hoping it was more for Zen paranormal activity like that was shown, but as it's spoken, we get a kind of obvious fact that it was just all in our head the whole time. No offense, this was fucking boring. I get the plot twist. Seeing like the ghost apparition in Zen was just getting me so hyped for like an idea of like being, well, some telekinesis, some Zen bullshit. That sounded awesome, but just for a simple it was all in lay head thing, got so boring. It's such a missed opportunity for a cooler concept. In fact, it's a huge problem I have with this mod that the story is just not interesting. There's nothing bad about it, but it feels like it plays too safe, which isn't inherently bad, but it gives your mod such little less of a personality. Think of Entropy 02. That mod had ballsy takes on the story, and not just that, I just think overall a compelling story on its own. And of course, this isn't exactly necessary. Not every mod needs to be like this, but it would have been gone a long way for my enjoyment. After that, we eventually get the keys, run away from this big boy, get on the truck as we finally set down and drive away. We get a cutscene. Like I mentioned already in the video, blah blah blah, cutscene's not great for Half-Life. This scene was alright. I liked how slower paced it was. Then we get blown up. And then we have a Marvel after credits scene where G-Man just stands over us. Our guy's dead. The end. Before I say anything, this mod is fantastic. The level design is some of the best I've ever seen out of a Half-Life mod, and I would recommend anyone to play it. But do I think it's the best Half-Life mod ever made? No, not because it's bad, because it's not really anything too special outside just being a really good mod. I think it's fantastic, and mainly by its gameplay is truly a fantastic mod, but the lack of its own identity truly lowers a lot of it for me. Maybe my expectations were up too high. I was hearing constantly how this mod was fantastic, one of the greatest Half-Life mods ever made, but I didn't get that. I just got a really good mod. But still pretty much a 9 out of 10. You should play it, by the way. It's a really good mod.